with your host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com. We broadcast live on YouTube, on X, on Roku, and on Fire TV. I'm your host, Andrew Romanella. It's Tuesday, April 8th, and that means, as Kai the goalie has written on the screen, the Florida Gators are the national champions of the National Collegiate Athletic Association at the Division I ranks. Last night, Florida, in an unbelievable game. I wouldn't necessarily call it a comeback. I would call it a game with which Florida was down for 39 of the 40 minutes played, but found a way to be victorious at the end. So a lot of breakdown of the NCAA Division I championship last night. Plus, in Major League Baseball, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. signed a 14-year contract extension with the Toronto Blue Jays. So not only does that keep Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in Toronto, presumably for his entire career, but it also changes slightly the way other teams around the league might be thinking about their first base play long-term, including my New York Metropolitans and Pete Alonso. So that's very interesting, especially since nobody thought Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was going to sign an extension until he got to free agency. But nonetheless, he was able to get locked up as the third biggest contract in Major League Baseball history. There is no Hockey with Rocky today, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I know, I understand. I am equally as saddened as you are. However, Rocky will return on Wednesday, with which we will discuss Alexander Ovechkin scoring his 895th goal. If you missed the coverage of Alexander Ovechkin breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring record here on The Rome Show, check out yesterday's show on youtube.com/12OZ Sports or wherever you get your podcast. Just search The Rome Show podcast. We had what I thought was a fantastic breakdown of Ovi's 895. We had two different camera angles. We had the broadcast of Ovi's first goal in the history of the National Hockey League. So check out the Rome Show from yesterday, and you'll get all you need in the Alexander Ovechkin breakdown. Plus, I don't know if you know this, but 3 playoff spots remain in the East of the National Hockey League, and 3 playoff spots remain in the West of the National Hockey League. So there's also a lot to be decided when it comes to the NHL and the postseason. You are roughly 9 days away from National Hockey League postseason getting started. So much to talk about with Rocky Romanella tomorrow. So that's all the things you can get excited about. Plus, we have some rock solid, rock soft for the dude. So you're going to have to flip that script until Wednesday. Okay. Oh, yeah. And it's Masters Week. Yeah, you heard that right. It is green jacket winning, best golf course in the PGA Tour, Augusta, Georgia, Masters Week, starting Thursday. So it is a great week for sports, which I want to talk about quickly before I get into this Florida versus Houston game. There's been a lot of debate, okay? A lot of debate. I got to say this before I continue on. We've been getting some write-ins. Kai the goalie's fired up because Florida won the Natty. He's been on Florida's train the entire time. He wrote, "It's great to be a Gator." And then he wrote, "Bro, getting all the tariffs," talking about Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but the Leadership Library podcast writes in, he must be feeling it in the National Hockey League. He said a suffering Rangers fan needed a day off today. If you were wondering what the Leadership Library is talking about, the New York Rangers have had a chance for what feels like the entirety of the season to make it to the postseason and get one of those wild card spots. However, they are 3-6-1 in their last 10 and still remain 6 points behind the Canadiens for that final spot with 5 games remaining. And they played terrible last night against the Maple Leafs and lost 5-1. So I am sorry, Mr. I think it is. Nope, hold on. This one.
I can't handle this too Rocky Romanella.
Sorry, Mr. Other Rocky Romanella. Does not look like it is a good year for the Rangers. Teaser alert. I might have Peter Laviolette's career balance on Rock Solid, Rock Soft tomorrow. To finish the statement I was making before, I was just saying that what is the best sports month? Okay. Like, what is the best month of sports that exists out there? Because there's a lot of people that feel like January and February are the best sports months because basketball's in full regular season swing along with ice hockey. Okay. You have the NCAA, both men's and women's, are trending towards where we got to now, which is the end or for then, it's the beginning of March Madness. Okay. National Football League is in its playoffs, and Major League Baseball is starting to hit spring training. So a lot of people talk about how February, late January, early February, some of the best times in sports. You could also talk about the sports equinox in the fall, when all 4 major sports on one day in the fall link up and they play a game. I do not know. I think the belief of it's the best season in sports is in the eye of the beholder. Okay. What type of sport do you watch? What entertains you? Do you enjoy some of the things that are going on in April, May, June, when football's not on? Or are you just strictly a football person? Because if you're strictly a football person, the fall is going to be your favorite time. But I saw a tweet yesterday that said, think about what's going on this week. And I was like, oh, wow. And then I saw a follow-up tweet that was like, look at what goes on in April. And just to name a few, okay, that we've already named today: men's and women's college basketball national championship, the ice hockey Frozen Four, which I think is equally as cool in basketball, in college hockey, okay? You have National Hockey League, final month of the season, into the playoffs. You have NBA, final month of the season, into the playoffs. You have the National Football League draft in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. Major League Baseball is now in its second month, essentially, of playing games. You have Formula One racing, NASCAR racing. I mean, if you name it right now and you are a sport, you're most likely in session or playing or whatever terminology you want to use. So it begs the question: what is the best sports month in our 12-month calendar? What is the best sports month? Is it September, when you're on the back end of certain sports, but the front end of football? Is it April right now? Are you somebody that's like, nope, I don't care for X, Y, and Z sports, so it doesn't matter if they're playing? But to me, and I love football, this is some of the best time of the year. Some of the best time of the year. There's nothing like a football Sunday. There's nothing like popping the tube on. Andrew from Red Zone Channel's there, and we're watching football for 9 hours. There's nothing like that. But right now, when you could go on the ESPN app and watch college football, college baseball, college softball, all college lacrosses, you can watch college gymnastics. Then you can go watch the NBA, the NHL, the MLB, NASCAR, Indy 1, the PGA Tour. When you can watch all of those things in one sitting on 4 different, because obviously they have to be on multiple different streaming services, that to me is a lot of fun. So write in youtube.com or x.com/12OZ Sports. Write in and let us know what is the best sports month of the year. I'd love to know your opinion. It's the Rome Show, 12OZ Sports. That's our mothership. We're on YouTube. We're on X. The Rome Show 1 is the social media handle. Follow us everywhere. Last night, the Florida Gators defeated the Houston Cougars 65-63. And here is the final 10 seconds, which was not good for Houston.
Give it up. Cryer, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, sharp. He walked. He can't touch it. He can't. 1 second. And it's over.
All right, we're going to watch this again because I want you to truly comprehend what happened here. Okay, check it out. 6 on the clock. Sharp thought he had the 3. But Walter Clayton Jr. comes in, causes him to double dribble. And that's how the game ends yesterday. Houston can't even get off a shot. Florida wins 65-63. They clinched their 3rd national championship in the history of the school, their first one since 2008. And I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, what a wild game. I broke this game down into 4 sets of 10-minute spurts. Okay, the first 10 minutes, Houston was leading 14-10. After halftime, Houston was leading 31-28. Okay, after 30 minutes into the game, Houston was leading 48-42. With 7:54 left in the game, Houston was leading 48-47. And then finally, with about 50 seconds left in the game, Elijah Martin gets fouled, down 63-62, goes to the line and hits both free throws. And then over the last 46 seconds of the game, Florida holds Houston to 0 points, plays electric defense, and they go on to win the national championship. We are going to talk about this further on the backside of our commercial break, because I want to dive into some of these statistics, because I'm sure if I told you the best player on the floor didn't score a point for the first 25 minutes of the game, you would think I'm crazy and there's no chance his team won the game. Well, that's the exact opposite. So we finished breaking down the national championship. Plus, we talk Major League Baseball for the people. Backside of this commercial break, the Rome Show. 12OZ. Oh, looks like we got a write-in too for somebody's favorite sports day of the year. Oh, man. So much to do here on the second half of the Rome Show. 12OZ Sports. Stay with us.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com www.romesh.com/tickets.
Yeah, it's the Rome Show. 12ouncesports.com. Broadcasting live on YouTube, on X, on Roku, on Fire TV. Social media handle, the Rome Show 1. Mothership, 12OZ Sports. You should know the drill. Michael Day writes in. Avid listener to the show. Michael, we thank you for your time listening to the Rome Show. I love football, but the beginning of baseball means warmer weather, concerts, etc. Best time of the year, in my opinion. For those at home that don't know what IMO stands for, that would be in my opinion, if you want to be hip and cool like our guy Michael Day. Michael, I could not agree with that sentiment more, to be honest with you. I'm living it right now, okay? And I love college baseball season. It is my job. My favorite part of the year is from February 15th, not just because that's my mom's birthday, but also start of college baseball season, to May 10th. Or at least me, because that's my playing season. But to go on to July 1st, and you got the College World Series mixed in there with the softball College World Series, mixed in with the heat of baseball season. We're getting towards the end of the National Hockey League and the NBA with their playoffs. Yeah, I agree with Michael Day. And plus, concerts, music, hanging out outside, warm weather, the beach. Yeah, you better believe I'm from Jersey. We're going down the shore, all right? So agreed with that. Let us know. Write it in. What is the best month of the year when it comes to the sports calendar? Okay, well, if it's April and you love college basketball and you love close games, you loved last night between Florida and Houston. Let's break this down for you for a little bit more. Florida did not lead this game but one time, and that one time was when they took the lead over for good with 46 seconds left. My first problem with this national championship was that I had to try and stream it on CBS or Paramount Plus, but I have CBS/Paramount Plus, but I didn't have the right package purchased to be able to watch the national championship game. So first and foremost, I got a real bone to pick with the NCAA because I can watch all other 67 or 66 teams leading up to the national championship on TNT, on TBS, on TFQUU, on GGF, on ESPN, True TV. I got college basketball games coming out of my ears. I can't switch a channel without getting an NCAA tournament game, without getting a women's game, or without getting an NIT. But then it comes down to the biggest game of the year. The most important game, the national championship game, where most people will watch that game because they're novice college basketball fans. And that's the hardest game to find. I can't just pop my Sling TV on and go, oh, TNT, TBS, True TV, ABC, UFG, CCC. It should be on everywhere. To me, that is ridiculous. This is the most important game of the year. This is the one you want all the eyes on. And you gotta, if you don't have cable, which, I mean, welcome to 2025. You're watching this radio show right now on your phone or a computer. It's not how it works anymore, people. But the NCAA wants max eyes on their best product. This is arguably their best day of the year outside the college football playoff championship. And you're going to put it on CBS Paramount? No, we need to fix that. That's my first thing. But more so about the basketball play. A few things happened here. First, Florida was not the best version of themselves offensively, and it starts with Walter Clayton Jr., who did not score a point until the 14:57 mark of the second half. And those 2 points came at the free throw line. The first field goal made for the Florida Gators' best player was 7:54 left in the second half. For those of you doing common math at home, that means he scored 0 points in the first half of this game, and he scored 11 points total in the game and all in the second half. All 11 points, huge for Florida. It was a back-and-forth start to this game. Houston came out 14-10 lead. However, it wasn't a positive 14-10 lead because the best three-point shooting team in the nation started the game 0 for 8 from beyond the arc, and that was a huge reason as to why Houston didn't win this game in general. They went 6 of 25 from three-point land. That 24%, A, not even close to who they are throughout the year, but B, not going to do it for you in a championship game. There were 5 different scores for Houston through the first 10 minutes of the game, where there was not a lot for Florida. The second 10 minutes, or the back half of the first half, saw Florida play a lot better basketball. 18-17, Florida outscored Houston down the last 10 minutes of the first half. Clayton Jr. still had 0 points, but threw in 5 assists there. And it was really the Will Richards show, okay? Because Will Richards is the reason Florida has a national championship right now. He scored, of his 18 points, he scored 14 of them in the first half, exactly when Florida needed them. This is a player that averaged 13.2 points per game throughout the entirety of the year and never had more than 15 points in an NCAA tournament game. Put up that in the first half when the best player on their team was not scoring at all, and Florida needed every bit of what Will Richard brought to the table. So Will Richard and Florida get to halftime at 31-28. And if you're looking around and you're a Gators fan, you're going to yourself, okay, this man hasn't scored a point yet. He's arguably the best player in the tournament. And we're only down at halftime by 3? Okay, we can live with this. Well, Houston jumps out early. They go on an 11-4 run in the first 5 minutes of the second half. And it kind of looked like, well, without Clayton scoring buckets and Houston starting to run here a little bit, they were up 42 to 31. You're like, okay, this could be where the Cougars take over. Well, nope. They get Clayton to the line. He gets fouled, puts up 2. That's all you need. Once the bucket goes in, it's a difference maker. Florida brings it to within 6, 48-42. Okay. Now you start getting into the last 10 minutes of this game, and Florida starts to chip away. With a little bit less than 8 minutes left in the contest, it was 48-47. Walter Clayton Jr. finally got a field goal on the board, which I'm sure was an exhale for every Florida fan. And then that's when Florida was able to go down the stretch. They forced Houston into a lot of turnovers, forced them into some bad offensive possessions. And when it came down to it, Florida hit the shots they needed to make when they needed to make them, and Houston didn't. And if you saw as much as that last possession with Houston, and I said, okay, this was a first-time championship head coaching matchup between Calvin Sampson and Todd Golden, okay? And it looked to me like late in the game, or throughout the entirety of it, Todd Golden was the tortoise, just waiting for his opportunity. Keep my team tight. Let's keep this game close. If we can get Clayton to unleash here at some point in time, we now have the advantage late, because they should be blowing us out of the water right now based on the way we're playing offensively. But they played so good defensively. So good. They held Houston to 34.8% shooting from the field. And as we mentioned before, 24% from beyond the arc. And something I like to look at, free throws. Houston was at the line 14 times, only made 9. Okay. Oh, that 5 missed free throws, the difference between a win and a loss. So congratulations to the Florida Gators. Chop, chop, baby. And congratulations to our dog, Kai, the goalie, huge Florida Gators guy. Been on the train since the March Madness tournament started. Finally, just to give you a quick note before we get out of here, in Major League Baseball, Vladimir Guerrero signs a contract extension with the Toronto Blue Jays, okay? He now will be in Toronto for the next 14 years for $500 million. That is the third largest contract in Major League Baseball history that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. signed yesterday. Good for Vladdy. Good for the Blue Jays. Over his 7-year career in Major League Baseball, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is a career .288 hitter. Okay. He has 160 home runs, 917 hits, and is slugging nearly 500. He is a 4-time All-Star and was the Rookie of the Year, or was a finalist for Rookie of the Year in his rookie year in 2019, with which he hit 272 with 69 RBIs and 15 homers. Vladimir Guerrero, flat out all-star. Vladimir Guerrero, flat out person that a lot of other teams were looking at to sign this offseason because they did not think that he was going to stay in Toronto. I don't think anybody thought he was going to stay in Toronto. There are certain teams that great players get drafted by or play for at the beginning of their career, and it's really hard for you to believe that that player is going to finish their career there. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette in Toronto, I did not believe they were finishing their career there. Right now, it looks like Vladimir Guerrero is. And now look around the other 31 teams. Look, what's the first baseman situation like? And is it like the Mets where they almost held out to not sign Pete Alonso, to wait a year, to have a chance for Vladimir Guerrero, but then they decided to sign Pete Alonso, and now Pete Alonso's having an elite year. And now what? If you're the Mets or any other team in that position, you might as well go sign the next best first baseman you can. And if he's already in your building, keep him. Keep him. Okay? Because Vladimir Guerrero Jr., arguably the best one in the league, is now off the market. We're about to go offline here on the Rome Show. Appreciate the people tuning in. Appreciate the people writing in. It's so much fun when people write into the show. I just have so much fun. Remember to let us know what the best sports month of the year is. We're taking a poll, and we want to find out. Back tomorrow on a Wednesday with hockey, with Rocky, and so much more to talk about. Just make sure you tune in and you hang out with us. It's Andrew Romanella. It's The Rome Show. I'm telling you to have an electric day. And peace.
Thank you for listening.